Serena and I were herded into a bathhouse where we were shaved, disinfected, and handed prison clothes. We were moved to a barrack with about 200 other women. We still didn't know where we were. We asked the other prisoners, when are we going to see our families? A woman pointed to a chimney and said, "Do you see the smoke? There is your family." In the following days, we were sent to work at a storage and processing area near crematorium number 4, where we sorted through mountains of clothes that came out of the trains and also out of the crematoriums and gas chambers. There were mountains of eyeglasses, toothbrushes, baby carriages, suitcases, household goods, every kind of item that people thought to bring with them. Because we worked and lived next to the crematorium and gas chamber, we soon had a first-hand knowledge of what had happened to our families. Day and night, columns of women and children and elderly passed by our barrack. We watched them enter the gate that led to the gas chambers. Sometimes they called out questions to us. By that point, nothing could save them. The sounds were magnified when we worked at night. First, I would hear the hissing of the steam engine arriving at the platform and the whistle of the train. And within a half hour, hundreds of women, children, and elderly would pass by our barrack and disappear into the entrance of the gas chambers. Those arriving at night saw the smoke and flames belching from the chimneys and even burning bodies in open pits. It looked to them that they were being herded into open flames. They prayed and cried and screamed, and I would plug my ears with my fingers. Day and night, the transports kept coming. The 5 gas chambers and crematoriums operated day and night, killing as many as 10,000 people a day.
Auschwitz was designed for one primary purpose: genocide. Blueprints of the facility show deliberate designs implemented to make large-scale gassing and cremation an efficient operation. The sheer number of murders that took place there on a single day was inconceivable, even for someone who witnessed the horror firsthand.
I was at a window, I was looking, I saw them. They even called out questions to us. I saw these women, these beautiful little children, babies, sitting on the road waiting their turn. And I would, my eyes saw it, my brain didn't accept it, and my whole system didn't accept it. That's how I think I coped. And not just in retrospect, but I know that I did not have the ability to absorb it.
Although they were already losing the war, the Nazis seemed even more determined to murder as many Jews as possible. Irene and her family were among the more than 424,000 Hungarian Jews deported to Auschwitz in just 8 weeks. The killing machine quickly reached capacity.
The killing was backed up. 5 crematoriums, gas chambers worked day and night, but it still was backed up. And so these people are waiting their turn. They're at the gate, and they have no idea what they're waiting for. And that is my mother. And these 2 little boys next to her are my 2 little brothers. And they have no idea, but they are waiting their turn and searching for my sister. She is not in the picture, although I certainly understand what happened to all of them. It is still a painful thing to think that she was having to go through this terrible time by herself. The selection never ended. In Auschwitz, every day there was a selection, not just at the train ramp when people arrived. That was the biggest selection. But after that, they constantly looked to see if they missed somebody, especially children like me. And so every single day, I was in great jeopardy. They would line us in the morning. The routine was that they threw us out of our barracks at 5 in the morning for counting. It was a way of really torturing people. 5 a.m. in the morning, you're thrown out, lining up in rows of 5, and just standing there until about 9, 10 o'clock, when the German delegation would come out, all dressed up in their nice, clean, warm uniforms, having had breakfast and so on, and they would come and count us. And after that, we would be dismissed. And so every time there was this lineup every morning, they had a chance to look down that row and pick out the young ones they missed, the sick ones they missed, or someone who just they didn't like. They wanted some slave labor out of it, but as soon as you looked like you weren't capable of working, you had to be killed. When people were brought in there, the very first thing they did at the train platform is to separate children, babies, and their mothers, and kill them within a half an hour to an hour upon arriving. So there were no children in that place, and I, who was just 13 years old, was really considered a child. And I was not slave labor material. So I was never referred to as a child. The word child was not to be mentioned. We were very much aware that if they pull you out, you're going to die. And suddenly that becomes your life. And then you're also distracted by all the incredible, inhuman things that are happening to you. Added to that is starvation and all kinds of other humiliation. And suddenly you're very confused and very unsure of. I as a child, I really thought that I was not even on this planet. I didn't think I was on Earth. Nobody knows this is here. Nobody can possibly know that when the trains come in, that 90% of the people are killed immediately, and there is a facility here just for that. This is just a place for killing, so it can't be on this Earth. I was terrified every moment of my time in Auschwitz. I look back and I think, oh, I was kind of brave, wasn't I? I was okay. Well, it seems like I wasn't. My sister tells me I cried all the time. I was absolutely terrified because I knew that they were looking for me, so to speak, but just everything, the hostility that was thick, you know, and that we were subhumans, we were dehumanized. That is such a terrible feeling that you can't, that you're most afraid of your fellow man. You know, I should have been in school and not in Auschwitz. Why was I there? And why was my father and family, why were they there? You know, people minding their own business, raising families.
Thank you.